Welcome to our Mind the Moment's Tuesday or Thursday morning gathering, brought to you by Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare and Tufts Health Plan. This is a place where we invite experienced mindfulness instructors to speak with us about what mindfulness means to them and to discuss as a community how we can incorporate these practices into our daily lives. I'm Suzanne Rowe Palacino, and I'm so happy to be here this morning with Tara Healey, founder and director of Harvard Pilgrim's mindfulness program. Good morning, Tara.
Good morning, Suzanne, and good morning, everyone.
So nice to see everyone here this morning. And happy Friday, Junior. I love that little chat.
I know.
Addition. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
I'm going to use that again.
I know, I love that. It took me a minute, actually. I was like, Friday, Junior, yes.
Yeah, I know. At first I thought, it's not Friday. I love it. We can pretend.
Yeah.
So today, Tara will start us off, as always, with sharing a question with the group to get us chatting with one another. And then she'll lead us in a guided practice, and we'll have time for Q&A at the end.
Yeah.
So if you can go down to the bottom of your chat, bottom of your screen and open up the chat, and that will give you an opportunity to click on the blue drop-down menu and click on everyone, and you can see all the comments as they come in this morning. And so, Tara, how would we like to kick it off this morning?
Yeah. Well, when I woke up this morning, there was almost 2 inches of snow, maybe probably 1.5 inches of snow. And Suzanne and I were just kind of chatting about that. And I imagine many of you woke up to snow. And I am curious what that kind of evokes in you. So, when you got out of bed this morning, you looked out the window and you saw snow, or maybe you didn't see snow, but we're entering certainly that season where you will see it. And so what is it, what does it bring up for you? What were some of your first thoughts? And I've had some immediate responses to it, but Suzanne, let's start with you. And did you wake up to snow, and what did it bring up?
I did. And I was a little surprised, frankly, because as I love looking at weather forecasts, and I thought it wasn't supposed to stick that much. So I was delighted because the trees were lined with that beautiful, it looks like a painting, that beautiful snow on the top of the branches. So I was filled with delight because I love the snow. Yeah.
Yeah. And please, anybody can start to populate the chat with just, thoughts, images, ideas about, what snow brings up for you. Yeah. So similarly, Suzanne, I would say that it was a little bit of a mix, but mostly excited. It's beautiful. It's just gorgeous. What comes with that is, cleaning off the car and making sure the driveway is clear. And it also comes with, winter sports and the fun of winter sports. And I definitely am somebody who appreciates the cold weather. I love being out in the cold as long as I have the right gear. So let's see, what do we have coming in?
No, I understand the mix of emotions there.
Yeah.
Freshness, memories of fun. It's pretty to see the landscape, joy, a lot of dog-related fun. And stressed I would fall. That's always part of it because doesn't matter.
I love the last quote. I have to get my scraper. I was in the basement trying to find my scraper this morning, which fortunately I did find. But
dusting of snow is good. Don't like large swaths of snow. Okay. Yeah. Not ready for snow. A mix of emotions for sure.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I think about with this too, and related to our practice, is the idea of what it really supports is seeing clearly how things actually are, not how we wish they were or think that they should be, but this capacity to clearly see and then watch how we engage and relate to that thing. And the ability or the capacity, what mindfulness helps us see is the resistance. If the resistance is there, just adds an additional layer that's unnecessary, and can double the impact. And so how do we really relate to and engage with things that we don't like? And how are we, mindfulness gives us the capacity to have some balance or steadiness with things that are unpleasant. I mean, I'm not saying snow is unpleasant. I think for some people, snow can be unpleasant, or it's too early, or, the different things. But it also, sort of the question just got me thinking about, some of my teachers would have phrases like, this is the way it is, or it's like this, and so both the pleasant and the unpleasant, and this capacity to have some steadiness and balance with how things are. And then if there's not steadiness and balance, to actually inviting that in and seeing if we can feel the physical sensation of that, say, resistance or unsettledness or fear or anger or whatever comes up, that nothing is outside of our mindfulness practice. It's all allowed in, and then we see how we're relating, and the practice helps us to be receptive, curious, open to whatever is happening. So the good, the bad, the unpleasant, the pleasant, because all of it has a nature to change, which I've always felt is so comforting. That even something as simple as being, if you ever wake up in a bad mood, that, there's a way to actually embrace that as well, and just kind of feel it physically, because it is of the nature to leave, because it's just a universal law that I've always taken a lot of comfort in. And it's true for the really good things too. So if you're feeling like really positive and great about something, that transforms as well. And so I think that it's all it's part of the beauty of being willing to be with things as they are, and watch the reactivity. And actually, as reactivity is happening, that's allowed too. So bringing a level of kind of kindness to yourself. And even sometimes just dropping in the phrases, may I be well, and may I accept this to the best of my ability, So with that, let's go ahead and do a practice. And I will have us kind of settle in with the body, just kind of noticing the body with the body scan, noticing areas of holding, softening those areas, but just simply to the degree that you're able to. And then we'll land on an anchor to help with steadying attention, with focus, building concentration, because mindfulness sees clearly when there's more steadiness. That's why we meditate. Well, it's one of the reasons. So anyway, I'm excited that all of you are joining me this morning. So let's go ahead and take a posture that feels like it's going to serve you best. And that could be standing. So whatever, however you're feeling this morning, standing practice is as good as sitting. So one position isn't better. It's just what's going to be most helpful to you this morning, and eyes open or closed. If you keep your eyes open, just gaze downward a bit to help remove peripheral distraction. And on your own, take 2 deep breaths. And I'm just going to encourage you to exhale a little bit longer than you inhale, just to help stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us to bring some calmness. So go ahead and do a couple deep breaths. just settle into the posture that you're in and see if you can surrender your weight into the support of the surface right below you, but also support being the earth holding you. So just softening the body around a spine that is straight but not stiff. Take a moment to notice sound in the room that you're in or outside of the room. And just note hearing, without labeling what it is, but just simply hearing. And bringing the awareness back in, allowing sound to remain in the background as it will. And let's bring attention to the very top of the head. And begin to move awareness down over the sides of the head, including the ears and the back of the head. Noticing sensation or lack of sensation. Softening to the degree that you can. Bringing awareness now to the face, to the forehead and eyes, nose, mouth and jaw. And again, noticing how you're holding your face, the muscles of the face, softening the areas around the eyes and the jaw, relaxing the tongue. Again, just to the degree that you can. Bringing awareness down over the neck, the throat, and the sides and the back. Sweeping attention down over the shoulders, the left and the right. Include the upper arms, elbows, forearms, and hands. Noticing sensation or lack of sensation in this part of the body. And bringing awareness to the torso. So the front of the body and the back of the body. Aware of sensation. If you're sitting, perhaps noticing that points of contact. Coming down now over the thighs, both the left and the right, the knees, the lower legs, and the feet. Aware of sensation or lack of sensation. And releasing that. And just for a moment, whole body awareness, just kind of taking a moment to look through the various parts of the body, anything that is calling out to you. Just bringing your awareness and receptivity and attention to that particular area. Noticing any pulsing or vibration in the body from your activity this morning. And just with an attitude in the mind of allowance, of receptivity. And just for the remainder of our practice now, let's narrow our focus of attention to something that's going to serve as an anchor this morning. So that could be the sensations you notice when you breathe, wherever in the body that sensation is most noticeable. So it could be really refined noticing of the air entering and leaving the nostrils. It could be the abdomen rising and falling, or the area around the chest, perhaps, or something else. You can also use a point of contact, either with the back of the body or the palms of the hands resting on the thighs. You could also use sound if it's consistent in your background. So we'll just, each time the mind wanders for the remainder of our practice this morning and you notice, simply you can make a soft mental note thinking and escort the attention back to the anchor that you're using this morning. Noticing where the mind is and returning to your anchor. And noticing where the mind is. Soft mental note thinking and escort the attention, awareness back to your anchor. And as we bring this meditation to a close, may we be peaceful and at ease. May our heart be soft and open. May we be safe and protected, and our bodies healthy and strong. And may the benefit and the merit of our practice be for the benefit of all beings everywhere. So I'll come back from 3, 2, 1. And if your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and open as you feel ready, and take a moment, especially if your eyes were closed, just to reorient to your space, to where you are. Maybe take a bit of a stretch. And yeah.
I experienced something where when we were discussing allowing during the meditation, that reminded me of things which you've discussed earlier. Things are always changing. I had an itch, and I decided I was just going to go back to my anchor and, just not engage, but
Yeah.
and it, like all things, it just moved away. So
Yeah. And I mean, and even, a twist on that, Suzanne, is you don't even have to go back to your anchor. You just hang out with the itch, and you actually stay with the sensation, and you'll see, like, right there in real time, that it'll arise, it'll do its thing, and it'll move. And then you can return to your anchor. So I just wanted to make sure everybody knows there's a couple options with that, that either works. And yeah, so that's true with a cramp, with a sound, with a barking dog in the background, and watching the reactivity around that, or lack of. Yeah, I was noticing somebody's comment too, like feeling badly because they were not excited about the lovely snow. And it's all valid, so it's really, and to me that shows a clarity of seeing that this is what came up. It's not good or bad, right or wrong, it is what arose. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting how you notice that as well. That's
Yes.
mindfulness. That's a moment of mindfulness. So I think you should, just being aware of that is a positive thing.
Yes. Yeah. Nothing's excluded, right? And yeah.
And as we all know, in New England, things change. I don't know if Teresa, you're in New England or not, but I noticed this weekend it's supposed to be 65 degrees.
Oh my gosh, Saturday, right? 65. Yeah, I know. I
rainy.
heard that too. Yeah.
It's rainy, but I've always enjoyed, I know we had one winter where we had so much snow it was always on a Sunday. And then the next week, somehow it would melt. Sometimes the snow gets a little, sand gets in the snow, and it may lose some of its luster. So it's nice to have it melt, or a little bit of rain, and then start all over again. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm curious how your practice was this morning. What did you notice about your practice? Unsettled, easy, challenging? Because it can be different every day. So just curious if folks would be willing to share a little bit about how it felt this morning.
Yeah, and I noticed someone said it was their first time standing meditation. Noticing subtle balancing movements in the body. So that's, I'm so glad you tried that. I've meant to set my camera up that way because I feel like once I stand, I have to move things around. But I love that you tried that, and
it's really good if you're sleepy too. The teachers will always say, do a standing practice, eyes open. And then you really notice the micro movements of the body to keep yourself upright. So there's a lot to work with there. That's great.
Tara, I noticed, I don't know if this fits in, but I found that poem about allowing.
Oh,
I could read at the end.
that would be great. Yeah. And I also want to just encourage people, because last week we did this too, that folks were asking about resources for guided meditation. And on the Harvard Pilgrim website, we have a lot. I think Suzanne posted those last week, but we have a lot of guided meditations on the Mind the Moment SoundCloud page. We have, all of these posted on YouTube, but you have lots of opportunities. So I want to say, like, I really think of this community as sharing. So any, books or ideas or thoughts that any of you come across, like, put them through to us. Let's see, fast and furious thoughts. Yeah. 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 And don't worry about, and I'm seeing like mind wandering, and lots of thought.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's unsettled today, mind wandering a lot, maybe due to the busyness, both work and personal and holidays. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a really, I think where the nugget is here, because I think that many of us feel exactly what you're posting here about, like, it's like the thoughts are like an avalanche, like a flow of, it's like the mind is just secretes thought. And it can be unsettling, and it could be annoying. And really the practice is, and this might sound counterintuitive, is to the best of your ability, when you see that, is to receive it, right? And to feel, what does it feel like physically when that's going on? And you might go back and forth through that kind of process, but busy mind. Okay, the culprit has been seen, you've been seen. Can I feel the physicality of that, of the busy mind? And again, with curiosity, interest, receptivity, and allowance. So it sounds counterintuitive, but that's really the instruction, is allow, receive.
Yeah, I'll read this poem and then I can.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
It's called Allow, and it's by Donna Fouds.
Oh, she's wonderful. She's amazing poet. Yes, great.
So she says, there's no controlling life. Try corralling a lightning bolt containing a tornado. Dam a stream and it will create a new channel. Resist and the tide will sweep you off your feet. Allow and grace will carry you to higher ground. The only safety lies in letting it all in. The wild and the weak, fear, fantasies, failure, and success. When loss rips off the doors of your heart or sadness veils your vision with despair, practice becomes simply bearing the truth. In the choice to let go of your known way of being, the whole world is revealed to your new eyes.
Beautiful. Do you want to put her name in and the name of the poem, and then folks can just Google that? She's, I know she's done a lot of work at Kripalu, was part of Kripalu's staff, and her books of poetry, I have a couple, are just gorgeous and relatable completely.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do that. I was initially posting the whole poem, which I think would be too hard. But yeah, I felt like that was just very
apropos for today. I love that, try corralling a tornado, or try, like, yeah, it's
and it included all the emotions, which I think is exactly how folks are feeling this morning. So
yeah,
thank you so much for joining this morning and for engaging.
And I just want to acknowledge Lee's practice. One of the toughest days of practice, holding breath, broken relationship, those are big things. And the softening and receiving of all the angst that goes with that, and just see how that plays out for you. It's, I think, watching the narrative in the mind, let your body direct you and let your body receive and offer kindness to yourself.
Mm. Yeah. And our breath is different every time as well. When you say holding your breath, I've experienced that where my breath
Yeah.
just doesn't flow the way it normally does. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
we're
totally.
holding you in your experience, and know that
Yeah.
our hope is that the day evolves a little bit better for you. So
Yeah.
so thank you so much for joining and for being part of the conversation. And we look forward to seeing you next week as we continue on with our practice. So
Do you know who's Tuesday, who the guest is?
I have to check.
That's okay. Yeah. All right.
It will be a surprise to all. So
Yeah.
thank you, Tara,
Thank
for
you.
your insights and for your practice this morning. And we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Okay.
Have a good weekend. Happy Friday, Junior.
Yes. Okay. See you soon.